I didn't say anything when my son shook the box and a plastic will rattled loose inside it. He looked up at me first, not confused, just checking. The way kids do when they're deciding whether to be disappointed out loud. The box had come from the dollar bin near the register. I knew because I'd seen my dad grab it on the way in last minute like a receipt. The tape had already lost its stick. Across the room, my niece screamed. Not cried, screamed. High and joyful. Tissue paper flew. A designer purse slid out, still stiff with its shape. My sister laughed and pulled an envelope from inside the bag like a magic trick. $600 in clean bills. Graduation money, they said. Early. Just because. Someone clapped. Someone filmed. My dad leaned over to me, voice low, reasonable. She's just more grateful, he said. Like this explained a weather pattern. I nodded. Not agreement. More like acknowledgement that I'd heard him. My son had managed to snap the wheel back on. But it wobbled. He set the car down carefully, like if he respected it enough it might behave. That was the moment I decided not to fight. I didn't announce anything. I finished my drink. I hugged who was near me. When my dad asked if we'd be coming for Easter, I said I wasn't sure yet. Which was true. I wasn't sure how to be there anymore. Over the next week, I did small, reversible things. Took my name off the shared Google Calendar. Muted the family thread. RSVP'd no without explanation. I didn't block anyone. I didn't write a manifesto. I just made myself unavailable. Felt worse before it felt better. There were nights I worried I was overreacting. That I was depriving my son of grandparents because of my pride. That someday he'd ask why we didn't go anymore and I wouldn't have a clean answer. Silence isn't noble when it's misunderstood. It's just quiet. But something steadied. Mornings were calmer. Holidays stopped being performance reviews. My son stopped asking why his cousin always got more. 3 months passed. I heard things secondhand. That my niece was struggling at school. That my sister was at her wit's end. That my dad was paying for tutors. Then new clothes. Then a trip that was supposed to reset her attitude. Gratitude became a requirement. It didn't take. The authority showed up as an email. My sister forwarded it to me by accident, I think. Or maybe on purpose, hoping I'd help translate. It was from the school district. Attendance issues. An investigation. A required meeting with a truancy officer. Official language. No room for interpretation. Then there was another message. This one from a bank. A flagged account. Large, inconsistent cash deposits tied to a minor. Compliance review. Nothing dramatic. Just process. Process is terrifying when you've built your life on exceptions. The meeting happened without me. I wasn't invited. I heard later that my dad tried to explain, tried to smooth it over. That he said she was a good kid. Just misunderstood. The officer nodded and handed him a packet. Steps. Deadlines. Consequences. No one was angry. That was the worst part. A week later, my dad called. His voice sounded older, stripped of its shortcuts. He asked if I could come by, just to talk. I said yes, but not right away. When I did go, I brought documents. Not accusations. School records. Pediatric notes. A simple breakdown of routines that had worked for my son. Boundaries written down. He read them slowly, like instructions for a machine he hadn't realized he'd been misusing. No one apologized. Not really. My sister cried, but it was about fear, not insight. My dad said, "We didn't mean for it to look that way." I didn't argue. I didn't need them to see it my way. I needed them to see that I had won. I told them when we'd come to events. Short visits. Clear exits. No gifts exchanged without agreement. No comments about gratitude. If those conditions didn't work, we'd stay home. I said it evenly, like confirming office hours. Power doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it just stops asking. Things didn't fall apart all at once. They thinned. Some holidays went quiet. Some invitations stopped. My niece stabilized, under supervision that didn't care how charming she was. My dad learned to follow instructions. My son built a racetrack out of cardboard and tape. The broken car ran fine if you nudged it just right. One afternoon, he asked why we didn't go to Grandpa's as much. I told him the truth scaled to his size, that sometimes adults forget to be fair, and it's okay to take space until they remember how. He nodded, already focused on the turn he was designing. Held. That's the thing about quiet boundaries. They don't fix everything. They don't punish. They don't teach lessons on command. But they change the shape of the room. And sometimes that's enough.